Thanks for sticking with me. I am trying to give my opinion on the Marvel's Avengers game that just came out. And if you've followed the other videos, I'm going through some of the sections in which I believe this game could really use, I guess, a flashlight shined upon it so that we can really get the game that we are hyped for and the game that we're looking for and the game that we paid for, the game that we were sold on. And I'm hopefully trying to do this before the player base drops because I don't want a situation where, which looks like it's going to happen, the player base drops, the game is in the bargain bin, and some people, like myself, paid full price for this game. And if you don't pay full price for a game and you pick it up and it's on sale or it's free, because maybe the player base has dropped or maybe sometimes the success is that high, that's a good thing. But if you're like me or someone who might have paid, more than that for, deluxe or collector's edition, it's discerning, especially with it being a live service game and how live service games are going since the recent Anthem. So I just previously talked about microtransactions a little bit, and I'm going to move into my next one, which is quality of life. Quality of life, I believe, is just a term of little small fixes that you can do in the game to make us, the community, feel better about how the game is playing. So, quality of life that I would say is one of them is the artifact power on your screen, on your HUD. And what I mean by that is a lot of people probably still don't know, or know in general, that your artifacts, once you level up the perk, I believe the third perk of them, you're able to hit both joysticks down, which I believe is the R3 and L3, but you press them both down, it could do something like total damage for a few minutes to any enemy nearby, or certain things it'll do for you. And if you don't know that, you're doing all these missions where it seems like NPCs are giving you the business, and if you press that, it is a game changer. It gives you a boost, or it helps you out in a sticky situation. If you put that on the screen, I think that would be nice, so you can see it with your abilities down with the rest of them. Because when you press the button, you do see the cooldown for whatever it's called. You're seeing the cooldown for it. So that's one of them. Another thing is pin items, like items that you're looking for, or maybe a task you're completing in the game. Let's say the task is 10 airborne robots for your task, for whatever reason is. If you can take something like that and pin it, where it's not obtrusive, but pin it somewhere on the screen while you're doing a mission, it's going to help you stay focused on that task, because this game does give you side missions and different tasks, and if you don't complete that stuff, you're kind of cheating yourself on your time. And so what I mean by that is when you look at the player card and you're trying to max out that card, if you do the daily task that they're asking for, but sometimes you'll run missions for 3 hours, and because you never looked at that task, you completely forgot that what you were looking for, what you need to do, open strong boxes, whatever the case is. So if you're able to pin items like your tasks, your gear, there might be a gear piece you're looking for, I think that would be helpful. Something where instead of the item dropping, let's say it was a purple, instead of you seeing that purple light shooting up in the sky, you would see it pulse. So you're like, hey, listen, it's rare, but it's one of the items I have marked. It's one of the pieces that I need. So it increases a feeling of, I want euphoria. I don't want to use the word. If you've ever played a game where it's like a looter shooter or Destiny or something like that, you know that feeling you get when you get that item to drop that you really, really want? This game is missing that. And I think something like that would add to it, where you would get that. More, I want to say war rooms. And what I mean by that, it could be war rooms, or I don't know what, I can't remember what they actually call in the game, but Cyberpunk does Night City. Division does State of the Game. There are companies that weekly try to communicate, regardless how their execution is. They try to communicate with the community and to let them know that they're working on patches. Let them know a new update is coming up. Letting them know what's going on. And sadly, one of the big flaws is we went from them laughing and joking with us on Twitter to almost disappearing completely from Reddit and other places that we can communicate to them. And I think that would be a big boost on the quality of life, just communicating in general. It's 2020. We shouldn't be thinking about a game with Marvel characters and a player base disappearing. That's that's crazy, because in 2020, with everything going on, a lot of us are spending more time playing games. If you ever played Among Us or Fall Guys, how much is that game to play? If you've never played those games or even heard about those games are free 99. Free 99 to play if you download it for PlayStation 4 when it was out for free. Now I'm thinking about it. It was one of them's free, one of them's not. Sorry about that. But regardless, when you pay for Fall Guys, because Fall Guys is out there, but Among Us is free. You can give $2, I believe, to developers, and people willingly do that and then some with those games, because and matter of fact, the Fall Guys has microtransactions where you can buy skins as well as win the crown to buy things as well, and it rotates and it changes, and it creates a sense of urgency to the vendor to look at it and figure out what you're doing with it. And so it creates this quality of life that you're like, hey, look, I would like to spend money on this game, and the game is free. So I just think we need more communication when it comes to this game. What I would recommend is, again, every week, let's see the community managers. Some of us know the names, but let's see their face. Let's have them play the game, right? And show us stuff. There might be stuff on missions we didn't know. There could be Easter eggs. There could be artist concepts. There could be a guy or girl who's like, listen, I designed this in the game. I was responsible for this. And let's talk about the great work they do. Let's show off some of the fans who dress up like the characters. Let's show how they're dealing with the pandemic and playing the game. I just think you've got an awesome community. Why not communicate with this community unless there's smoke somewhere? And you know what they say, when there's smoke, there's fire. The other item for quality of life would be the camera angles. So the top of my head I can think of is it zooms in way too much. Is that just me? Right? You're doing a mission and you're getting hit with the turrets. With the turrets are more annoying than anything. They don't take that much XP off. But you're getting drilled by some of these rockets from Adaptoids, I believe. And those can literally just wipe you. Other than you seeing on the screen that something's coming for you and you hit the evade button, which sometimes is hit or miss, even though it's designed to hit or miss, which is understandable. Sometimes it just doesn't work the way it's supposed to. So you're trying to evade that in any way that you're using, only to be, as the action gets more intensified, it feels like the camera gets closer to you. So I can't see enemies over my shoulder or further out, regardless if I adjusted the view in my settings. And it's unfortunate because you need to plan out what you're doing. I mean, are you knocking out the turrets and then, well, it shouldn't be that way. It should be that you go for the, I believe, the drones that are flying, any archers that you have, or not archers, but anybody who's sniping. You want to get rid of those first. And then from there, you go ahead and take care of the people on the ground. But if you can't see your full landscape, how can you set up an attack to figure out what you're going to do? So I think adjusting the camera, and I believe they took away some of the shake and the blur effect, which really just exposed the frame rates dropping, or kind of the jankiness that it looks like as more and more NPCs come in, regardless if you have a pro system or you have a standard system, whether Xbox or PlayStation. Locked items and loadouts. I mean, I'm at the stage now where I delete everything anyway, because I just slowly run a mission until I get that 1 or 2 level up, and then I delete everything else that's on it for now. But at some point when they get the loot right, and I understand loot balancing and things like that, I mean, I would hate for somebody, if they haven't done it, to make a mistake and delete items that they wanted to keep. Like, you know, you have a legendary item or artifact or something like that, and you're like, you hit the wrong button and you deleted it. I've hit the wrong button and upgraded, 2 or 3 levels or 10 levels, and I'm like, I just lost resources. Because you play different games and the buttons are a different way, and again, the flow of how the game is doesn't allow you to kind of just it feel natural. So I would say there should be something where you can lock your items, save them from being deleted. Even talking about that, you should be able to smoothly move from your locker to the item. It lets you go in the locker room, right? And then you're like, I want to move this item over. But when you switch over to your character, if you're not in the character inventory screen, you can see the items, but you can't delete anything, which means now you have to back out, go into the character item, delete, remember what you deleted, what, and then go back into the locker room to press the button to move over. And yes, there's a room in the helicarrier that allows you to do that as well. But you get what I'm saying? It's like the quality of life. My time is valuable. Your time is valuable. So why am I going the extra step that you guys are putting me through? Loadouts. I mean, I think they use the term in the game, loadouts, on the screen, I believe. And loadouts are very important in this game, from what it seems, because you're giving us different status effects. You're giving us different builds, like a tank, a healer, DPS, hybrids, everything and anything in between that you come up with that's creative. What's your favorite build? Put it in the comments. But you only get one loadout. So you would actually have to pause it to go in and change each little piece so that you can do the load that you're trying to do. Like, for instance, let's say you're playing with a friend and you're on a mission and you're like, you know what I'll do? I'll use pin particles. We'll make them smaller, lower damage. Let's do this. Hold on, let me pause it. Okay, give me a minute. I gotta set it up. Oh crap, I moved the piece I needed to the locker room and I can't get to it right now. Which happens in some games where there's a stash or something like that. I get it, but because there's no loadout, you're not running around with this. Another thing for quality of life would be a roadmap. Again, I think it goes with the communication I mentioned earlier, but a roadmap. The same way you see the movie companies for Marvel put out what's coming out in the future, we should know what characters are coming out. It doesn't matter to see the trailer of a character, two characters who use bow and arrows. Not trying to be rude or disrespectful. I just don't understand why they would launch it that way. One of them should have been a part of the package, I believe, for launch, and the other one should have came out, as one of the first characters. But to drop them both, I don't. Anywho, there should be a roadmap so we know what we're doing. We should know that there's a maintenance every Tuesday at a certain time. We should know what patches are coming and what's in the patch. I think we had 2 patches that came out and everyone was kind of getting hyped about the patch. I think one day it was 2 patches back to back. No one knew what was in the patch for like a day or 2. No one knew. It was a patch, you did the patch, you're finished. I think we need a roadmap. You can't get anywhere in a race if you don't have a finish line. You need a starting line, you need a finish line. There's some other stuff in between, but those are pretty important. So what's the finish line here, guys? Crystal Dynamics, what's the finish line? If you're playing online for quality of life, my time is valuable, your time is valuable as your unofficial community manager. And when I say that, I just honestly just mean I'm trying to manage my life. And I'm playing the game, so why not I just manage the community? Aren't we all community managers? Aren't we all sitting here saying, hey, listen, I got an idea for the game, or oh man, they can make this better? So if you play this game and you have an opinion, especially if it's respectable and you're not just like sending threats to developers, please don't do that. Then yes, you're an unofficial community manager, right? Don't you? That's fair. But yeah, we need a roadmap. The next thing, like I was saying before I got sidetracked, was our time is valuable. So with that being said, when you're playing online with friends, there should be things that are given to you. There should be things that are given to you to show that your time is valuable. One of the things are XP that is granted as a boost. That'll really help you play with other characters, okay? So it's going to allow you to play with other characters you normally don't play with. And you'll level them up faster because you're playing with friends. So it's helping with the matchmaking and taking someone who plays the game solo and really getting them out there to play with other people. So the example I'm giving you is you pick Mrs. Marvel, you got her maxed out. And then you realize, you know what, I don't have Black Widow maxed out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick her, go into matchmaking. I'm going to play with someone I never met, get to know somebody. And we're going to get a boost in XP. There's games that do that, whether Clan XP for stuff like The Division, Fortnite does it, Apex Legend. You're getting a boost for playing these games with other people. And the more people you play, the bigger boost you get. So maybe you go from 1 player plus boost, 3, you know, is a different, 4 is a different. And you're getting a boost, so you're playing with these people longer. You're getting to know people longer. You're getting your friends list up. Isn't this what this is about? You know, the Avengers assemble. That'll get people assembling. Adding something like MVP stats. Think about it, man. You mash the buttons for 10 or 15 minutes on a mission, or 30, 40 on bigger missions or raids as they come in. Wouldn't it be cool to know who gave the most heals? Who rocked the most damage? Who took the most damage? Who got the most kills? Who used their ability the most? Who was dying the most? That'd be comical. I'll be laughing about that. I think at the end of the mission, it'd be cool if we saw that. If we saw that pop up on the screen and while the mission's loading, that'd be great. At the same sense with that, why don't we have a run that back again button? You're doing a mission, right? I'm doing, what is it, the day that remains or something like that. That's my mission. That's my go-to mission. Why can't we do that mission, right? And as soon as it finishes, press a button and redo it again. I don't know. I feel like it should be pretty easy to do that, right? And I'm not trying to come up with ideas. Again, I honestly feel like developers don't get enough credit for the work that they do and the stuff they put themselves through. And I don't know how to make any games, any aspect of it, but I do enjoy reading books about how some of the most popular games are made and things behind the scene and whatnot. It would make a great television show. But I honestly think that would be cool if they spend time playing the game, the same game we are, and they value our time and they want to make our quality of life better. They've got to know some of these missions we're rerunning for hours on end because we're trying to get something to drop. So if that's the case, come on, let's. Do you want to do this mission again? Hold down square while you're looking at the mission stats.